What's going on, guys? Matt with Motorworks here, and the hits just keep on coming. Now, what am I talking about? In addition to the missing ABS pump, which, you know, I'm not too upset about that because it just never had it in the first place, so whatever, I'm over that now. This part that was missing, and I'll show you here in a second, could have killed me because I actually was getting this bike ready to go down the drag strip for the first time on this bike myself. But yeah, let me just grab the camera and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. All right, guys, so excuse me if I sound a little bit upset. It's only because I am more than a little bit upset about this. But this is the rear hub. I don't know what they call it, but I call it the rear hub. It's what holds the sprocket, and then it also goes into the wheel on the cush drive itself. And there's a bearing in here, and this bearing, between this bearing and the wheel, so there's a wheel on the bearing on the there's a bearing on the wheel. That's what I wanted to say. There's a bearing on the wheel, and this bearing's fine, but from the wheel to this outer sprocket hub here, there's supposed to be a spacer that sits in here and acts as a thrust washer or thrust spacer. When you tighten the wheel down, that collar butts up against here, and it doesn't let the actual axle tighten too much on the bearing, and that little collar takes the load, if you will. It takes the pressure from you tightening the wheel down. That collar was missing, so what that meant is this bearing was taking all of the load per se, and one bearing trying to, you know, handle holding the wheel in place from doing this and keep the wheel doing this eventually just failed. So that's what happened. This outer sprocket bearing failed. It didn't actually destroy the sprocket, thank goodness. I'm so glad that I actually pulled this up on the lift and started to check this over, because this could have been pretty I don't want to say that it would have locked the rear wheel up, but I also don't want to guess that it wouldn't have locked the rear wheel up. So I'm just glad that I found it now. But it just stinks because now I have to find all new parts. I mean, eBay's a good source. I'm going to find the parts, but still, it stinks that I have to go through this because, again, I trusted what the previous owner had told me. Previous owner said that they had just put new tires on the bike and it just had the wheels off, cleaned it, and apparently they didn't put it back together correctly, and this is what I'm left with there. So that sucks. Now, in addition to the wheel, I did also find that when I was changing the oil on this, the drain bolt was missing a crush washer, and there was a bunch of oil that had leaked out underneath the engine there. So another thing that was missed. It's just, so I think what I'm going to have to do after I get all that fixed in the rear there, I'm just going to have to go over this bike 100%, just from front to back. Anything that I think was touched, I'm just going to look at it again, and just to make sure that this thing's safe. I mean, I am just I'm thanking my lucky stars, really, that I made it home from Connecticut on that, because that is, you know, that's pretty detrimental there. That could have been bad, but it's just the stuff you deal with, I guess. Ouch! Oh, that hurt. So yeah, that's where we're at with this thing here. Again, if I sound a little bit bummed out, it's because I am. I wanted to go take this thing down the drag strip. Now, luckily, it is raining a lot today, so I'm thankful that it wasn't a beautiful day and I found this information out. But I'm going to whip this together as quickly as I can, get this thing back up and running. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. was just a quick one. Next video, hopefully either I'm putting this together and showing you that, or we're just going to go straight to the racetrack and see what we can do on this bad boy. But that's going to do it for this video. Thank you guys so much for liking, commenting, and subscribing. Yeah, I don't know. I got nothing else to say. See you in the next video.